So this is day 2 of prepping my house for a dinner party on Saturday nights. We started prep on Thursday night and I did a deep clean of my kitchen. And now this is day 2, Friday night, and I'm doing the major tidy up of downstairs. So here is what we are starting with day 2, the utility room. Oh my goodness, this is heaving with stuff. Now we have a fridge freezer in our utility room. My husband affectionately calls the fridge the beer fridge, but we're not actually big drinkers. So I'd say it is like 90% soft drinks. However, when having a dinner party, we will have some wine, we will have some beer in here, and we'll be hoping that our guests like help themselves largely to drinks. Like initially we'll get them drinks, and after a while, it's super helpful if people like know where everything is and they can just go grab a beer or whatever. So I want this area to be peaceful, calm, not having to like run an obstacle course in order to get said beer from the fridge, and not having me cringe with embarrassment knowing that they have like had to encounter all of our washing on the line and a bunch of other stuff. So that is a key area for me to tidy up. So I do not have the time that I had on Thursday. I ended up spending nearly 3 hours deep cleaning the kitchen on Thursday night, and I did really enjoy it. And it was so satisfying to get it done. But oh my goodness me, was it tiring? So I am pretty tired from that night, and I want to get to bed earlier this night. So I've set my alarm for my timer for an hour, and really, when the timer goes, I need to be getting stuff like into the car or like wherever needs to be like gone, and then get myself to bed. That is my plan. I also want to do the voiceover for like the first day's video after I've done this tidy. So I'm factoring that in. So I absolutely love running my YouTube channel, and I adore the community that I've built over here. But there is a time commitment, and I am dedicated to getting that done. So I kind of treat it a little bit like a part-time job, but also the hobby that I love. And I need to factor in that time too. So an hour is set, and that is all we have. So I'm starting out with the hallway because like first impressions really matter. This is where people will land immediately when they come into the house. And it is a small hallway. Our house was originally a 2-bedroom end terrace. We're obviously still end terrace. We are now a 3-bedroom house after we had an extension, but it's still a petite house. I really love the downstairs space. I love how open plan it is. I love that I can be like in the kitchen cooking, and then my friends like will be around me. I love that I can see the kids like almost always downstairs. I can see where they are. But the hallway is still built for a 2-bed end terrace house. It is very small. Like when guests come in, we essentially like open the door, we say hello, and then we have to back up so that they can take their shoes and coats off and come into the house. Like we cannot like mill around in the front of the house. So I need to make sure that it's minimized as much as possible. And I'm conscious that we had all of our winter coats hanging up. We hadn't got around to sorting them. And actually my husband had like just taken the initiative, taken a bunch of the kids' winter coats down during the week, and he had washed them so they're ready to pack away, or the ones that don't fit anymore to go on to new homes. But I need to sort this out. They're all on the area in the utility waiting for me. And I also had decluttered some toys going to my friends and a bunch of stuff, which basically the kind of stuff that needs something to happen with it. It needs to be taken to a charity shop, or it needs to go to a friend, or it needs to be sorted or packed away. I just chuck it in the utility room because I can just close that sliding door and then ignore it all. So I need to sort all of that out. Have my big winter coat. Temperatures are reaching like 18 to 22 degrees Celsius here now in the UK where I am. Really nice weather. Like, winter is behind us. Spring proper is here, and I feel like we are very much on the cusp of summer. Like the really nice, hot, sunny days are pretty much here, to be honest. I definitely don't need my winter coat. So I have tidied that away, put that under the bed, cleared out the pockets. Like always remember to clear out your pockets, because you'll be like me, you have like a bunch of cough sweets, and like every pocket has some kind of sticky substance in it that's going to get really horrendous if you don't clear it out. So always trying to clear out pockets and bags when I'm packing them away. And also just like going through shoes, I know that my daughter has just like she's come out of her shoe size she was in. I had her measured, and was told that she should have been in a shoe size 2 sizes bigger than what she was in. So I felt super guilty that like I got to the point where I was, these shoes are getting a little bit tight. clearly we need a new, we need new shoes, but hadn't quite appreciated how much she was busting out the seams. So the wellies, everything is are just too small. The nice thing is that I have a very dear friend who I've known since I was 16, who has had a daughter. Her daughter is 11 months. So Daisy, my daughter, is just over 2.5. And it's just like a perfect age gap for me to pass on clothes. So I know that they're not going to go to waste, which is a real comfort. And we have really benefited from hand-me-downs from friends who have little girls who are a little bit older than my daughter. So it's really nice to be able to do that as well and like pass things on. And I love it when we go out with my friend and her daughter and I see the occasional like outfit I remember Daisy, my daughter, wearing. And it just like really warms me. It's really nice. Like I absolutely feel like we should embrace handing down clothes, not just for kids as well, but I buy a lot of my clothes secondhand. I get a lot of stuff from Vinted and eBay. I look out particularly for certain brands I know are really good quality. So, a favourite of mine is M for work dresses, and actually quite a lot of my casual dresses. M. I like Hush. The tracksuit trousers I'm wearing are from Hush. Super comfy, like really good quality. I like Arcare. I like And Other Stories. And a lot of those clothes, like they are pretty pricey. They're not super designer or anything, but they're pretty pricey for high street clothing and but I do find the quality really good and they last well, so I'm prepared to spend more. But that said, if I can spend a bit more but less than I would in the shop and get them on Vinted, get them on eBay, then that is 100% what I'm going to do. So if I see something and I like it, I will firstly see, can I thrift this? Can I get it secondhand? And some of the clothes that I have bought secondhand have been quite expensive, like comparatively. Like you could 100% buy a dress in a shop for way less money, but can you get the quality stuff? I would say no. Um, but yeah, I have got tons of stuff secondhand. And actually, this t-shirt that you can see me addressing here is secondhand. It's a M t-shirt. So I know M are really good quality. I have got lots of dresses from them, and I've got several tops. So I needed some more t-shirts and tops for my summer holiday coming up. I say summer holiday, it's end of May. It's a May half term. We're going away, and we're going to a little town just outside of Barcelona. It's going to be nice and warm. It's going to be like the kind of mid to low 20s Celsius. So I need some t-shirts, and I found this on Vinted. It had a tiny, tiny mark on it. So I got that out with stain remover really quickly and washed that. Hung it up outside because the sun is the best like thing for bleaching clothing, getting any stains out. Just leave stuff out in the sunshine for a couple of days. And that went really, really well. So now we are on to the kind of main living space of the house, and I'm basically just working through the house from the front door backwards. And this area in particular is one that I really want to tackle, like visually, when you're kind of then in the main area of the house, this makes quite an impact, and it's a negative one. There's a lot of toys here. We do use this kind of coffee table as our toy rotation. I started to sort that, and I was like, do you know what? The toys up here they're quite big. I wanted to pack those away. I really need those in the bottom of this bag. So I've got a big old blue IKEA bag. We've got lots of Playmobil up on this unit under our TV. And I spoke to my kids, my boys, before doing this tidy up. And I was like, is it time to move out the pirate Playmobil and put the farm Playmobil out? And they agreed. So that is what we are going to do. I started to try to dismantle this Playmobil. It was so hard to get the ship masts down. And anyway, I found that huffing, puffing, and swearing occasionally got the attention of my husband. He was like, "Are you okay? Can I help you? How on earth do we get this apart?" Anyway, embarrassingly, he did immediately, very quickly. But it's done. So having got those kind of the bigger, chunkier items in the bottom of the bag, I can then go back to that unit, the coffee table. So, fun fact: before we had kids, our coffee table had our like collection of gins and whiskies. Mine were the gins, my husband's were the whiskies, and they were all at the bottom of the coffee table. And I remember when I was pregnant with my firstborn, with Eddie. and the midwife came to the house for like a home visit, and and she looked at the coffee table and she was like, "Oh, that's nice. That will be a shame when all of that goes." And I don't know why, like, I hadn't considered the fact that obviously with small children, you can't have alcohol at like a low level. And then before I knew it, the coffee table housed toys. So it went from being a display cabinet for our alcohol collection to being a toy unit. But I'm good with that. I'm very happy with how life has turned out. I have everything I ever wanted and more. So but what I don't want is all of those toys to be in a mess on top of the coffee table. So my aim is, firstly, we'll get the bulky toys here. We're going to put those in the loft into like a toy rotation. So we are absolutely not getting rid of them. My kids do enjoy them, but they have not been touching them lately. And I find with the coffee table toys, if they are there for a while, they get bored of them, or they just become so familiar, they stop seeing them almost. So we need to switch those out to kind of get them interested again. So I'm going to put the kind of bigger vehicles upstairs. There was this kind of like it's a planet Rubik's Cube type thing that my mother-in-law bought my son. It's really cool. It slots together in a particular way it couldn't work out. So again, that was handed over to my husband, who's in the background trying to work and getting interrupted by me. Um, I'm moving the toys. Some of the toys that were on top of the coffee table, I'm moving those down, and then just having a bit of I haven't put any new toys, I don't think, in the coffee table. Having a little white brown because it's very rare for it to be empty, and I was conscious it was very dusty. So the aim of today is not to do a big deep clean. It is more tidying, reorganizing, packing things away. But if there are those areas where I can take advantage of having like toys removed, then great. So this toy ramp, car ramp, which had been on top of the coffee table for a while now, I moved it down. I moved it quite central, very visual. And the next morning, when my 5-year-old and 2-year-old came down, they went immediately to the car ramp, got the cars out, and playing really nicely with it. And I have to say, I felt really quite smug. I was like, there you go, just move the toy. It had been on top of the coffee table for ages. I moved it down. They started playing with it again. I moved everything on the bottom of the coffee table around, so everything was in a different place. And over the course of the next day, they played with just about everything. So here is your sign. If you have toys in the house that you think, I'm sure they love them, I'm sure they don't want to get rid of them, but I don't know what to do with them, just move them. Like literally just move them. And then it's like they suddenly realize and they see them again, see them with fresh eyes, and they get interested again. So we have a bunch of other like rubbish, quite frankly, in my opinion, on the top of this unit. And I'm just going to move that to where it needs to be, get rid of it, whatever. We are not having a major declutter. We are not having a major like sort out. We are just having a big tidy. And sometimes that's what you need to do, is just have a big tidy. So just all the little bits now, which is the most annoying part of the job, I would say, because I feel like this is the time where I'm flitting around a lot. And I cut a lot of footage out from this video because you couldn't see the bulk of me during it, because I felt like I was flitting around so much, it became impossible to move the camera around. Um, so that goes to show you what it's like when it comes to like a big tidy. You can kind of see like I'm back, forth, here, there. Is there anything under the sofa? Is there anything on the coffee table? Is there anything under the rug? Where does this need to go? Move this ball, move that, put this in the bin, put this in the, I just like, I ended up with heaps of stuff everywhere. So finally, the timer went, that was an hour up, and I'm not adding more time today. I am now onto the right. I have a pile of stuff on the stairs that needs to go upstairs. I have a pile of stuff by the door that needs to go to the car or needs to go outside. Now, what are we going to do with that? Having done the tidy, I will tell you, because I am recording this voiceover after the actual dinner party, which was really lovely. It went really well. Um, Having done these tidies on the Thursday and the Friday night meant that on the Saturday I could really concentrate on just getting the cooking done and really enjoy the prep for the day proper. And normally, I will say this is not my normal. Normally, I spend the day of a dinner party running around like an absolute headless chicken, trying to clean the house and get food done. Something suffers, usually the cooking or whatever. People turn up at the house and I haven't finished my makeup or got dressed or whatever. So this worked so well. I will 100% be doing it this way, getting prepped like days in advance for having like, hosting a dinner party. We don't do this very often. So here is what everything is looking like after. So on the Saturday, I made tacos. It was taco night. I had two vegetarian fillings. I made all the tortillas myself. I made a what's it called? I made a rice pudding for dessert, which is a bit random, but it worked really well. So and in between then, I did clean the windows downstairs because that was a job I really wanted to do. But I just found like I was prepped well enough in advance. I could do that and not be stressed out. And no, my friends would be looking at the windows, but it was a job I really wanted to do. So that was the only real major thing I did. And then I ran the Hoover around downstairs and did a speed mop of the floor. I never got around to tidying this toy kitchen. So it looked like this for the whole dinner party, and it still looks like this. But progress over perfection. My friends will not be judging me on the state of my kids' toy kitchen. And they had, apparently, they say, a lovely time. It all went really well. And I am really pleased with how the house was looking by the end of it. The coffee table was just like a breath of fresh air compared to how it had been. Same for under the TV. Haven't put the farm Playmobil out yet, but I promise I will. And the rest of the weekend was absolutely lovely. Park visits and just chilling out with the kids, bit of TV, and a bit of a wind down on Sunday, which we really needed after the Saturday's fun and antics. Let me know what you would like to see next, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.